Exodus, one of the most woke dumpster garbage fires that we have had in the last year. Like, visibly something that is gonna go a flop extremely hard. And they recently fired their CEO because the game was almost finished and he just wanted to leave because everything is fine. One of the most obvious lies ever. And by the way, they did the same exact thing with Ghost of Yote CEO, who also got fired because everything is going so amazingly. God, I love these companies. They just say the most obvious dumb lies that they can and just hope that someone out there will be like, yes, yes, this obvious lie that insults my intelligence because they're not even trying, I believe it. It is. We truly live in a society. We live in an amazing time. If you have any sort of brain activity, pattern recognition, or, an IQ above lukewarm room temperature, which in Celsius would be, above 20 probably, you're probably noticing that things are going extremely poorly for a very specific group that could be, man, if I had to label it, if I had to call it one name, what would it be? What would yes, woke. Man, but keep believing the act man when he says woke doesn't actually exist. Man. Are you tired of winning? Probably not.
We have, I guess, what one might call breaking news on the front of Exodus. Well, not really. Do you remember how we had heard that James Owen had decided or was told or otherwise just stepped aside to work as an advisor, as a consultant to the greater project of Exodus, having been the head honcho, the founder of Archetype Entertainment, the studio? Well, apparently he tweeted something out offering clarity. We're going to read it first, and we're going to offer our thoughts and commentary on this as well as Exodus in light of this. So, as you can see, he states, stepping back from Archetype leadership. There has been some speculation about me stepping down as studio head of Archetype. That decision was one I made last summer. While Hasbro would have preferred I stay, the departure was amicable.
Yes, surely. By the way, this game is overseen by Hasbro, one of the worst incompetent woke companies out there. If not for Bethesda and Blizzard, Hasbro is definitely up there. They have ruined literally everything they have touched.
And fully supported, and I remain on good terms with everyone involved. After more than 6 years building Archetype and leading a AAA project while balancing both creative and business responsibilities, I reached a point where stepping back made sense. Burnout is not unusual in this industry, and it felt like the right moment for new leadership to guide the project forward.
Yes, when the project is like 99% magically done, and then that person gets to take all of the credit for their amazing project that surely will sell at least 4 copies. That's right, that is the future real Mass Effect, okay?
Exodus is in a good place, guided by creative leaders I have worked with and trusted for decades, including Jesse Sky, with whom I originally founded Archetype. Right now, I am focusing on what I enjoy most, story and world building. I am developing new worlds through my own company, Arcanum Worlds, and I also have a couple of upcoming books funded by Hasbro that I am excited to share soon. Okay, that's the statement, and if we were to take it at face value, which we initially will, I guess he just...
Why would I ever take anything from these lying people at face value, though? Like, why? It's not like they have a proven track record of always lying to their customers and gaslighting us, or at least attempting to gaslight some of us. Why would I ever choose to take that statement on face value? I'm sorry. Why? I don't get these ideas of, oh, why do you apply critical thinking to your decision making? Oh, the game's not even out yet. You can't know if it's good or bad, said someone who didn't see Fallout 76 a disaster, Starfield a disaster, this a disaster, Dragon Age the Veil God a disaster, Andromeda a disaster. Yes, I mean, How could we know? I guess I just flipped a coin 50 times in a row and I got it right every time. Oh man, I'm just really lucky, I guess.
Legitimately wanted to leave. He wanted to work on his own projects. He'd worked really hard and he feels that he deserves it
I love the concept of I worked really hard, so I chose to not see it through.
and felt burnt out, and therefore he opted for this last year. And I'm sure in the majority that's true. But there are a couple things that are a bit strange about the statement. It really smacks of PR speak, that's one. It sounds like something you would say to the public to assuage them of their doubts. And the other big thing in red flag to me is if you're burnt out and you want to take a break, why would you go back to work on something else? Now, it is possible that burnout could only apply to one project or one thing you're working on, and maybe he was just sick and tired of working on Exodus. It's entirely possible. However, it is weird, usually, because people who are burnt out typically need an extended break from all types of work. They just don't want to work. They just want to chill, relax, and recuperate.
Well, to be honest, burnt out typically refers to one thing. But yeah, it's reasonable to assume it can also work like that.
But he states here that right now I am focusing on what I enjoy most, story and world building. I'm developing new worlds through my own company, Arcanum Worlds. So, I mean, he's right at it again. He's just working a lot. Maybe this is an instance of him legitimately being sick and tired of the one IP and wanting to work on something else. That's possible. He also talks about books or novels, I guess, that he's been working on. I guess we'll see what those are. I don't know if it's in the Exodus universe. Who knows? So I'm not really sure what to make of this. I still will cling to the statement that the head honcho, the co-founder, the guy who is effectively the name on the project, leaving a massive AAA undertaking in the middle of development, we have no idea how far along they are in actuality, is a bad sign, and it's weird. And even if this was all
It's kind of funny because this is the first bad sign this project has, not like the, I don't know, 50th.
planned, it doesn't really make sense. I will rejoin you all and tell you that they have been working on Exodus since 2019, and we currently find ourselves in the year 2026. So that will be 7 years, 8 years maybe, when the game is finally released. That is not a normal development cycle. And
As any Fable fan will tell you, a game being developed for 13 years is actually a good sign. Especially if you have multiple studios working on multiple CEOs, multiple creative leads, and you know it has been sold like 5 times to different people. That's the best game, okay? That is a project that's gonna break people's minds in a good way, obviously.
you remember my previous video where I talked about skepticism versus trust and hype and
No,
balancing all these things out.
no.
These are not good signs. Even if this is true to the letter, to the T, everything he's stating in this tweet, it's still not a good sign overall. We don't know if it's entirely true just because it's a tweet, right? He's not going to let us know the ultimate truth in all likelihood. It sounds very weird. Again, burnout from one project, but not burnt out at all for other projects. Strange. But more importantly, the development cycle and the very tepid and just slow style of the marketing. Maybe they're waiting for a particular moment. I just don't know. Most importantly, this is something that I've observed over time. When I looked at the trailer and the most recent showings, it just looks very meh. It just looks very okay. I get the
Are we talking about Exodus here? Because nothing Exodus looks okay. Everything Exodus looks pretty dull, boring, and bad.
immensely powerful vibe of it's a game. And that was not my original thought or feeling when I first envisioned Exodus and when I first found out about the game, because I had been covering it for a rather long time. But there you have it. So, despite this statement, I cannot claim that I am now instilled with a new level of confidence, and I think Exodus is going to be fine. As always is the case, I think, take this all with a pinch of salt. Take what I'm saying with a pinch of salt. But again, this just sounds too much like corpo speak. And who knows, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Typically, the actual truth, the 100% truth, lies somewhere in between the lines that you're reading, right? So it's probably in the majority true, but there's some details that are not
Yeah, this stuff looked cool at the start, but later on it's like, oh, none of this actually matters, I guess.
being fully revealed or fudged or this sort of thing. I just don't know what to think of Exodus right now other than to be skeptical of the project. And the more time elapses, the less I think about it, frankly speaking. The game, again, has been in development for a very long time, and that does not reinforce or ensure confidence. And I think when you look at studios that are successful, they tend to push through, and they don't need 7, 8, 9, 10 years. The worst example of this, of course, is Bethesda and God Howard, but they're, of course, very extreme. So
Extremely incompetent.
I don't really know what to think. They still appear to be confident, so maybe they have some secret sauce or something that they're just not showing to us.
Oh, they're always gonna appear confident, but this is such BS. I mean, Wizards of the Coast is literally putting out questionnaires about have you interacted with a YouTuber that made you not want to buy our product because you know these are lies? Can you please point us in his direction? Like, they're literally planning to sue people because they're an incompetent company. That's how you know it's over. By the way, that's how you also become a bigger locale than Pirate Software. Man, I need to look in with good old Pirate Software is honestly doing. It's been a while. But in any case, Exodus was very soonish garbage. The first time I saw a little bit about it, I was like, okay. And then I saw the second thing about it, and I was like, wow. Wow. That's a lot of diversity right here. Not the good kind, also. The clearly, we're sending a message kind here. So yeah, it's pretty bad. Not to mention, you have seen you saw what we saw here, right? The Exodus screenshots and all of that garbage, you know. The faces in this game, all of them look horrible. All of them look absolutely abysmal. They look like what did I call them last time? I don't remember, but all of them are just like, it's stupid. It's bad.
But at this stage of the game, I think it's very clear that if you're going to make an action sci-fi RPG, you kind of need it to stand out. It needs to be remarkable. You need to look at the trailer and think, holy moly, that looks incredible. And I didn't think that. No one I talked to or conversed with thought that. Even the people who were most enthusiastic about it during this previous Game Award show just thought, yeah, it looked pretty good, but this could have been improved, that could have been improved, etc.
It didn't. This is all very generic Unreal Engine 5 shit.
Etc. So I'm just not confident at all. And I guess I'll continue covering Exodus in a reserve.
Yeah, this is pretty much how good Exodus is. Look at that. That's gonna be one of your main companions. 10 out of 10. Have fun. She's gonna teach you all about the evils of being a man.
In a withdrawn manner.
Oh, Jesus.
But despite the statement made by James Old.
And you see what I mean about the faces? Like, my god, what is going on here? Also, Spot the White Man is the game we play when we watch Exodus.
And even if it is 100% sincere, and I kind of doubt that through no fault of his own, I mean, corpo constraints, I'm just not buying everything entirely. I think Exodus could, as I stated in a previous video, very well be in a kind of development hell, and they're just not letting us know. But we'll see, ultimately. Time will tell. I don't know. This is speculation. But all I can do is shrug my shoulders and think, yeah, this sounds more like damage control than anything else. And whether you believe...
Yeah, I mean, sure, this definitely is some kind of control. Anyway, 10 out of 10. Have a nice... No, wait, that was Spill and Shield. I almost forgot. 10 out of 10. Bye.